My career in the Navy started, right before I was getting ready to graduate high school. I went down and enlisted into the Navy into the delayed entry program. Come time to go to basic training and everything after I graduated, because I knew that if I pushed it off that I wouldn't go. So I just went on ahead and said I'm going. And ended up going to Great Lakes, Illinois for my basic training. And Lord knows it was a cold winter up there. But after I'd done basic training, I'd shipped off to the West Coast. I was sent to an engineering type school. And then they told us after we completed the school that we could pick our duty stations. Well, I picked the East Coast, and I was trying to get on a couple of ships out there. And when the orders come in, they said, you're going to a Harbor Clearance Unit 2. And when the orders come in, I said, what's Harbor Clearance Unit 2? And nobody knew. So I had to guess, what it was going to be when I got there. So I finished the school. I got to the East Coast to where Harbor Clearance Unit 2 was, and what it was, I don't think it could have been any better of a duty station than I'd ever been on. And the reason I say that is because it was a diving unit and salvage unit. And while I was there, they decided to change the name from Harbor Clearance Unit 2 to Mobile Diving and Salvage Unit 2. We got to work with a lot of the salvage ships and everything like that. It was a real good duty station. A lot of our job was, back then in the 80s, is when a lot of the Navy planes and Air Force planes were crashing. And whenever they crashed, we'd have to go pick them up. They would send the military out to pick them up, to salvage them. And when the plane had crashed into the Potomac River, we were up there on that job. And after that, I'd had like a couple years in the military, and then at the time we got to go down to, went up to Pennsylvania from Little Creek, and they said that they were going to start reactivating the battleships. So there was like 15 of us rode the battleship from Pennsylvania down to New Orleans that was being pulled by a tug. Well, that was it right there, because it wasn't far from my enlistment and everything coming up. When I come up, it's like I said, hey, I want on that ship, And they said, sorry. I said, well, sorry, I'm not staying in the Navy. And then next thing I knew, I got out and joined the reserves, and I was stationed with a few ships while I was in the reserves, the Hoel, Comstock, Proteus, and then spending a few years with them, I went to a communications unit in 1987, and we went up to Norway that winter. I mean, it was really cold up there too. So when we got back in '88, there was a unit called MIUW, Mobile Inshore Undersea Warfare Unit. They said, hey, we need your rate over here. Would you be interested in coming over here? I said, sure, Well, next thing I knew, I transferred to that unit. We went to Adak, Alaska. We had a good time in Adak, training with the Army Rangers. After that, we come back. Everybody thought it was the pits because, you know, when you call up there and say, hey, what's the weather like? And they say, oh, it's summertime, you know, and you get there and it's 27 degrees and it's like, oh, this don't feel like no summertime.